Where's my whale?
What is she doing here?
Oh, we trapped her soul here by infiltrating her mind with an iPhone. Don't worry about it. Hey, what's this?
It's a movie analysis that I wrote in my notebook.
You're doing that in what class where you're supposed to be focused on something else?
Every class.
Great. So what are you watching?
Persona. It's a series where there's 4 different episodes with 4 different directors, but with the same actor, IU.
I've seen this. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about it. It was really cool. The first episode is called Love Set. What's that about?
It's about IU, the actor, and then this other actor who plays the father's girlfriend fighting for the father's love and attention.
And who's the other actor?
I don't have that written
It's
down.
Duna.
Oh.
Who's way cooler and way better.
I don't know about that one.
Why do people like IU so much? For I don't know. I don't get it.
No.
Well,
IU
yeah,
is just
exactly.
like-
You don't get it.
You don't get it because you don't.
get it.
You also don't listen to K-pop. That's also like IU's a very
IU's
big.
Like, wasn't she like coined the daughter of Korea? Or
like,
the
she was-
the sweetheart.
The
No, like a
sweetheart
little
slash
sister or
daughter.
something.
She's also a really good soloist, and also she's just made a lot of like landmarks in Korea.
But Duna's actually an actor.
IU's
She
an
can
actor
act,
too.
and she
IU
can act,
has
she can sing,
acted-
and she can
yeah,
dance.
She does all 3.
IU's one of the best like realistic actors because if you look at other K-pop idols that act like they're like it's always the very cheesy, lovey-dovey films. Like for example, like Minnie from G Idol, like she's a really good singer. She's a really good singer, and like she's like good at acting, but like the role she got casted for was like an influencer, but then like the show itself was like really cringy.
I guess it just depends on like what like cards they're given. Like,
Well, this was a good choice for IU, right? Like,
yeah, no. This is definitely because IU had already branched out into more serious roles, so then this is like branching her out into more.
All right. Well, okay. I think I can't speak.
IU?
I interrupted you.
Oh.
So give us. Can you? Yeah, IU's sitting there watching the match. She's annoyed that like.
She even calls in that English dude.
She calls in some white guy to try to seduce the woman, but he's can't do anything, and so she has to defeat the woman on her own. For the affection of her father or something like that.
Yeah, and then they play like this whole like very intense, very serious match.
And it descends and gets more and more intense and strange as it goes on. And then Duna gives up. Or
she has a lot of empathy for IU's character because she's like, oh, like she's gonna lose her dad.
and maybe this says more about me, but like I got that she is so frustrated with this young person and knows she's never going to give up.
Oh, so then she gives up on.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going to deal with this forever. I didn't see it as an empathetic move.
I just thought like she gave like a little bit of empathy, but then like I don't really know how to describe it.
But then she says, I'm not going to pursue your father. And that's pretty much the end. And then they finish the game, but we know that IU can't win.
IU can't. Yeah, no, IU has not won the bet. She is very much injured and she cannot do anything.
Do you remember the very last line, like how it actually ends? She literally just says, please, I cannot accept this. That's her final thing.
Oh, because she like didn't want to let go.
Yeah. And I think that's the energy that Duna reacts to, where it's like, oh, this young woman is literally never going to give up, not going to accept reality or whatever, her place in the world.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the very first image is?
It was like an apple or like a peach or something like that. And she
it's
had
an
a bag.
extreme close-up and it's gross. And it's just like her crunching on it. So what do you think that's about? Why do we start with that image?
Like she's burnt out from anger or something. I don't know. She seemed like the way that she ate the fruit was very aggressive though.
Then it gets uncomfortable. We didn't mention some of the editing. Like when she's losing the match and she doesn't have a chance. And then it starts cutting to the peach again, and it's gross.
It's gross. Yeah.
And it's almost like a horror movie. Is this like, does this director usually do like scary movies?
I didn't do any research on the directors.
I got those vibes that it's like unsettling.
A scene that I was like, man, this is weird, because you know how it's like she calls him father, but he says she's not the father. It's like when she's like picking up all the tennis balls and then she goes like on his back and everything. I thought it was a little weird.
Well, that's when I'm getting like the ultra childness.
Yeah, that's why I was like word? Childishness.
Childishness.
Yeah.
Childishness.
That's where I'm getting that. Like
that's
where
a tongue twister.
She's like almost a toddler or something, right? Like,
yeah. I think she's personally craving just attention in general.
Oh, definitely. Does that relate to her K-pop personality?
No.
None of this does.
No,
really?
her K-pop personality. She's like younger sister, like very well, like this, like childish maybe could be something, but like her K-pop persona is very like lovely and like she's like very nice and kind.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that she's kind, because she plays a very unkind character.
She hates men in this
in
sense.
The Collector. No, you're right. It's not The Collector. It's
it is The Collector. I have it written down right here.
No, it's Collector. There's no the.
That's some bullshit.
How much do you want to bet?
$5?
Yeah.
Can we actually make this a bet? I bet you it's The Collector.
Yeah, there's no the.
Oh shit.
Okay.
You want $5?
Do you have $5 on you?
No, right now. I have a 10.
All right, here's 5. So it's called Collector.
Yeah.
So what's this about briefly?
Basically, it's a film.
Can you do this without referring to your notes? Don't you remember? You've seen the show.
Yeah, like IU is kind of playing that guy that she's dating.
Oh, playing him.
Yeah. Just a
okay,
little
I'm
bit.
curious what that means to you. But anyway, she
takes his heart.
Yeah. He's more invested or whatever, and he literally rips his heart out, gives it to her, and then she puts it in a jar and walks away. Okay, so what you were saying, she's playing him. So what do you think's really going on?
Like she is like, and then she's like talking to other guys and like she's kind of cheating on him like throughout the whole thing, while he's kind of being very like dedicated to her, and I think it's just showing that she isn't ready for a relationship, and like she just doesn't understand that like things.
But do you feel like she's ever being dishonest? Like you're saying she's playing him.
No, I think she is being dishonest at some points. She says, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom," but her bathroom is her making out with another guy, and he sees it, and then that's why he was like, "You should come over and sleep over at my house."
I guess I thought she was a little bit more open with other stuff, right? She would tell him about hanging out with those foreign guys and like all the,
Yeah, like stuff like that, but she wasn't like completely honest. Like she was definitely honest, but just not.
She's definitely mysterious, right? There's stuff she won't talk about. And in fact, I think he says that's part of why he liked her in the beginning. There was a mystery or something about her.
There's something very different. And then also but throughout the whole episode, when he's like in his like little white room, like his little world, I think he's just really a maniac, and I think he's insane.
I think he's a dude.
No, that was sarcasm.
Oh, I don't get sarcasm.
I use it all the time.
Let's go in order, and we'll introduce the room because it sort of plays into it in an interesting way. Okay, do you remember the very first shot?
Well, weren't they meeting at a cafe?
No.
Fuck.
Usually the first image tells you a big part of the movie.
What was it?
Maybe there's a swimming pool or a yoga or something.
She's doing yoga in this empty swimming pool, like in a forest.
All right. So what do you think that means? After we have the later context, what does that first mean?
She's focusing on herself.
I mean, I think that makes sense, but then why those surroundings? Why are we like in a swimming pool, do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
How do you think she relates to water? She talks about surfing.
Surfing, going on that yacht, and then going to that island.
And when she talks about surfing, she says she was giving herself over to the waves. So this is, I read this as like her being in tune with the universe, right? This is like water.
We're connecting back to the universe and water.
It's where like we're in the moment. She's kind of in the moment, in the flow of things. And Yes, she is. And
Are we putting a whale right here too?
Flashbacks.
and so I think that's her whole character. Is
Just
like present in the moment, flowing.
Doesn't care about anything else.
Yeah. And I don't think it's not like she's a big liar, but
I think she's
he
just-
doesn't. He's not like that. The dude.
It seems like he doesn't disclose everything, or like he tells her everything he does either.
Well, I don't know. Like, he's almost the opposite in that like he is living in his head a lot. So that's the white room, right?
Yeah, that
Like,
white room.
Now we're
It's
in his head.
mind.
We're seeing all his emotions. He's not expressing them, right? Like so. There's a certain point when she talks about like the boys that she went surfing with, I think,
And then he
his
gets-
head falls off.
Yeah.
But in real life, he tries to stay cool.
Cool.
And she's like, "Oh, you're not even acting jealous." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not jealous." But then inside, his head falls off. So like, he's not.
I
I think he's more of a liar.
I think one, he's a liar, but also I think he's just the type of person to not express it, and I think he's just overthinking a lot of things. Because I think like a normal person would be like, I'm like pissed off that you hung out with these guys that I don't know, but you know he's like trying to keep it.
But shouldn't he? Because she's not a liar, really. Shouldn't he already kind of know this about her? Like, why is he? Do you think that his image of her is accurate?
No,
And whose fault is that? Hers or his?
his. Because then you see like throughout the whole episode, like there's flashbacks of like for example, like them biking and them on their date. Like
Yeah, that's all
biking
he
around.
talks about. He's like going into his memories. Remember this time this happened? He's not in the moment. He's never in now.
He's always in the past.
Yeah. And like I think that's kind of why they're not compatible.
And I also think that's why the ex-wife shows up a lot in his head as well. Because he's only thinking about the past.
But he starts talking about God and women. Do you remember that whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
What did you think about that?
I thought he was very Catholic.
I don't know much about like the Catholicism or like what the religions are. Like I don't know how to read that stuff. I was reading it just as the way he sees women, where he's like putting them up on a pedestal, and he'll just constantly tell them, "You're better than us. Women are better than men. Women should."
I think it's like throughout the whole episode, he's kind of like sacrificing everything for IU's character. You know, like he's sacrificing, like for example, like in his heart.
Well, ultimately, like that's the full. Yeah, that's
thing.
it.
But he's not on the same pace as IU's character.
But he only has to sacrifice all this stuff because he's sort of pretending to be something he's not. Right? Like, what does she have to sacrifice?
Nothing because
Does she?
she's honest.
Yeah, she does what she wants. Like that, you know. Based on all this stuff, it sounds like he's the problem and she's really cool. But then who's the villain and who's the hero? Like, who's good or like, what's the morality of this whole thing?
Well, in my perspective, I thought that he was the villain because he kind of set himself up for this. If you understand what I mean, like he set himself up with all
he's
this
definitely at fault. Yeah.
Because she's being herself, but he's faking a different personality, a different persona.
Okay. So you think she's being herself?
Yeah. Well, it's like
Who is she?
she's this young girl who's very mysterious, and I mean she's not that honest.
She's a human, you think?
What does sci-fi have to do
What
with
does
this?
your note say? Is she human?
They just call her a girl, so yeah.
Did you not notice her eyes changed and she's swimming in the ocean and she's a fucking mermaid, dude, and she's eating
she's a
men's
siren?
hearts? She's a siren?
She's a siren. Oh, that's
fuck,
cool.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so she's whatever she is.
Yeah.
And she gets the heart and she gives him something.
It was the
Yeah. And so do you remember what she says when she gives him the box in the very beginning?
No.
She's talking about her trip and he's like, "Did you get me anything?" And she says, "Oh, it's nothing much."
It's
your
your
mind.
the
It's
mind.
your inner turmoil.
And she doesn't give two shits about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I thought it was interesting in the end where you see that she's collected multiple people's hearts, not just that
Yeah, and she doesn't even care.
Like
Yeah.
she doesn't have any emotions or any like feelings towards that. She just cares to get their hearts.
What were you being sarcastic about? I didn't even get that.
It's not cool to explain a joke.
Yeah, I want to understand youth culture and what's cool now. I'm cool, you guys. Everyone always saying how cool I am.
Well,
Who's
I think you're the
everyone?
what the fuck? What the fuck is that?
No, it's just a little piece of your brain that you're really just not gonna miss.
Like the
My
entire
brain is bouncy.
Yeah, there's air. There's a lot of air in there.
So are
He's
you
calling me an airhead.
Yeah, you get it?
He asked if you get it.
Anyway, you're not going to miss it. Don't worry about it. So, what's the next episode?
It's Kiss Burn.
Kiss Burn. Okay.
It's basically about IU and her friend. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly. Like,
Who cares? Forget about your notebook, dude. Use your mind.
It's the name.
Her friend.
Okay, fine.
I don't care.
The friend is like, she has all these hickeys on her, and like she's like just like discovered like kissing or whatever, and like IU is now kind of like interested, but also at the same time they're pranking the dad.
All right. So now let's go into what I think it's actually about. What's the very first image? This time, and this is literally the whole story is in the first shot.
Isn't it her sitting at school?
No.
Alone?
We never see the school.
Yeah, we do.
We never see it the entire time.
It's at the beach, no?
No, we never see the beach. We never see anything in this episode. Except... Oh my God.
I forgot.
She hasn't been studying.
It opens up on a white screen. The white screen turns into...
Static.
No, what's an animal that might be white?
Polar bears.
Polar bear.
No, keep thinking. It turns into literally the only other animal in the episode.
Dog.
There's no dogs.
Chicken.
It turns into a white chicken. And the camera keeps backing out.
Yeah.
And then we see what? The chickens are...
Fine.
They're locked up in a coop.
Locked up.
They're behind a cage. They're
Oh, shit,
locked
yeah.
up. We keep backing up. We see the car. The car says,
Fire.
beware, forest fires.
Yeah.
That's the entire thing. So if you're just reading that, what's it about?
It has something to do with fire, and it has something to do with the chickens.
Who are the chickens?
It was the friend's chickens.
It's IU and her friend, dude. They're the chickens. They're locked up in a chicken
Society.
coop. Yeah, they're the father, whoever's containing them, they can't do anything. They want to rebel. They want to be young. They want to go kiss boys on the beach or whatever. But people don't know. No. You know, Dad's not going to let you do that. And everything blows up and burns down.
Yeah, and that's why they wanted to rebel by like pranking him and then like smoking cigarettes and everything.
Yeah. So like that's how I'm reading it, and I think that's all very true, right? I think if you contain people,
if you keep them in long enough, they're gonna start rebelling.
Yeah, with like young people, it's like, okay, we're not going to let you do anything. We're going to lock you in a chicken coop, and you can't go do anything. Dad's going to have all these rules, blah, blah, blah. Someone's going to get hurt eventually. Something's going to burn down. It's not going to work. That's my reading.
I believe it too.
Do you think that their rebellion, or like, do you think pranking him is misguided?
Well, I think their way of rebelling is very childish. Like they're
doing like Home Alone pranks.
Yeah, like the oil on the floor, and then like I don't know. And then he dodges every single one of them, but then they actually set the coop on fire because they get scared that he's there.
And now you understand like why I'm so scared of you people, because like you've been
scared of you people.
You young people, you've been locked in a cage.
This is racist.
Whose fucking fault is that?
It's not mine. I didn't lock you in a cage. I'm in a cage too. I'm in a bigger cage. We're all in a series of cages, dude.
The Kardashians when Kim Kardashian was in Kanye West's cage.
It's the monarchy or whatever, right? Like
society.
It's society. It's whatever. So whoever's on top, the king, the father, it could be whatever monarch, whatever. And you lock all the people up, and the more restrictive you get, the more explosive it is. And that's what I see happening. I see people getting explosive and nervous and strange.
As an example, King George III giving the taxes, and then everyone rebelling, and the British Tea Party.
Yeah, that's the game we're playing, right? It's like, I'm going to tighten the screws and just make society, a little bit tighter, and then at some point, we got to loosen it up so that they don't rebel and burn everything down.
It's just like those pipelines in all the movies where like when they tighten it too much, it starts bursting.
Yeah, you gotta like let the steam out or whatever. I don't think that's what this episode is about necessarily. No. It's more about youth, but
and rebelling. It's like,
you know how my brain.
Well, also I think it's just like I think they're learning to mature a little. They're learning to mature a little bit.
Are they maturing? I don't think they are. I think they're just.
I think they're just learning. I mean, like learning and discovering new things, right?
Yeah, they're in exploration mode.
Because throughout the whole episode, like IU's character doesn't really think about kissing, but like
How cool
until
is it that she's smoking
until
cigarettes, dude?
I she like doesn't learn about like kissing and everything until like her friend says it, and then like there's that scene where she tries to give herself a hickey and everything.
And there's a little bit of commentary about how like the boy gets to go back to school, but the girl
The girl
doesn't.
doesn't.
If they both have hickeys, like
Hickeys.
one it's acceptable, one it's not.
Not. Yeah.
All right, you want to hit that last episode?
Yeah, walking at night. Trigger warning, there is suicide mentioned in this episode. So basically it's like this black and white this black and white episode, and it's about this guy having a dream with IU, and basically he's having a conversation with her after she's committed suicide.
This is the most obviously different just because it's black and white.
Yeah.
And like the style is different. And I wonder, I didn't see that many comments of people being upset by this change in genre.
I was looking at the comments too. A lot of people liked this
Like changing
episode.
it up?
They liked it changing it up, and I think out of the 4, they liked this episode the most.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's
It's
what
like
I
the
was.
least exciting. It's just a conversation.
Well, I think it's just like how like a lot of the comments are saying like this is my favorite episode, like on an emotional level, like it made me like cry, and made me feel like empathy and like sympathy and
It's definitely a really appropriate way to end.
and
But let's get there. So we'll start in the very beginning. The first thing she's talking about, do you remember what it is? Okay, so the first thing she's talking about is her sister dying. Her sister was struggling to breathe, and then she dies with her mouth open. Do you remember that?
oh yeah,
Because then she's kind of obsessed with this idea, I don't want to die with my mouth open. She doesn't want to die
Oh, with her
struggling to live.
Live
Like she doesn't want to die holding on. And that's where we start, I think.
That's where they start walking to that little cafe with the painting behind them. Right?
Well, I think first she reminds him that she's dead.
Oh.
And then he cries, and then they go to the restaurant.
But also, she's also reminding him like if you cry, then like the dream will be over.
Yes, that's right. And there's a reason that she wants him to stay in the dream.
So she can talk with him.
Yeah. She could sense that she was disappearing, sort of as a ghost or something.
I think it's kind of just like maybe like her time.
Wait, what do you mean? Like it's just time to move on to the next whatever?
Yeah. I think that's why she's like, I want you to stay in this dream.
Like she can sense she's disappearing. Everyone will forget about her. And so I think she's...
it's a Coco moment. You know what I mean?
What?
Coco, the movie.
Oh, I haven't
It's-
seen Coco.
What?
I'm sorry.
The whole premise is like once like everyone's forgotten about you, you will like disappear. Like you will like scatter and disappear. Like that's
Yeah, maybe something like that.
and it's like, but it's like the more like people remember you, you'll live and you'll stay in the afterlife. But once people forget about you, you dissolve.
Yeah, it's like
You dissolve and
gods.
disappear.
And in this one, though, she's sort of setting up the idea that everything is going to disappear.
Here,
How long do we want to hold on to things? Like we just kind of let...
I think it's her mindset.
There's another reason she's talking to him, and
Oh, to disclose like why she killed herself.
yeah. And I think it's to alleviate his guilt, right?
Because he feels guilty because he kept saying throughout the whole episode, like, I'm sorry, like, I should have, like, done better, like, I should have known better. But she's like, it's not you, it's me.
And that sort of becomes like the big climax, is like the stakes are he has to struggle to remember
Oh,
that
she's telling him and he's trying to remember, like, this before, like, he wakes up from his dream.
Yeah. Like otherwise she'll disappear and he'll go the rest of his life feeling guilty. So what did you think about that? Like she doesn't blame him. She says like she wasn't necessarily lonely around him.
But it was just...
But she was really lonely.
And it's like, I think it's like maybe like he helped her at some point, but like maybe it's just like wasn't enough. And I think maybe the experiences that she had made it very like harder and difficult for her to cope with, and that's why she killed herself.
They don't go into details about like this loneliness or anything.
No.
But like loneliness seems like it's increasing, right? In the modern age.
Yeah.
Your generation is lonelier than my generation, is it not?
I mean, yeah, we went through like quarantine.
Yeah.
so-
Like I think quarantine definitely differentiated like everyone.
I mean that's like a shock to the system. Like that was such a a big moment. But even just without quarantine, do you not have that sense that like?
Well, sometimes
No,
like
yeah.
no,
Like our
I feel like
generation.
everyone like in our generation has felt that sense of loneliness or will feel that sense of loneliness. But I felt mine during quarantine.
Mine's is constant. No.
And of course, I think my generation blames it on you guys having phones and social media and all this, because then you have all of these sort of superficial fake friends. You have 5,000 friends. How cool!
But isn't that like interesting? Because like
It's a
I don't know,
different
the
way to
internet-
communicate.
The internet like makes us more like interconnected, you know, because we have like access
like-
to like communicating people.
It's like exploring and finding new
literally, like,
people.
all over the world.
Like-
so it's sort of like ironic that
Man,
our
I can have a
generation is,
friend
like,
all the way in Germany for no reason.
yeah,
Not for
like,
no
we have
reason.
access to
It's
that.
valuable to have a friend in Germany. It's valuable to have friends all over the world.
Even though we live here, like mostly for school and everything, like, and I live part-time in LA, like I still have friends in LA and I still have friends in like Hawaii and like etc.
There was a period of time where I used to live in virtual reality, and I had friends all over the place, and we would hang out together and go to.
Is this
Anyway.
your little talk show?
you were
Yeah.
you were hanging out virtually.
What was your
you guys,
character?
like, go in
Were you a
cafe?
furry?
Don't worry about it. So you're sort of selling it to me the way I thought about it when I was young, when the internet was taking off, and we're like, here we go, guys. Like when the whole world is connected, it's kind of like the entire world hive mind coming together.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people actually as little neurons, and we're communicating and we're creating.
Neurons.
We a neuron, right?
Yeah.
A little brain cell. Each person is a brain cell, and then all together we create a giant brain and transcend as a civilization, and we all move on to the next phase. Anyway, it didn't
So
fucking
connecting this to
happen.
society.
Something happened. I don't know what. I don't know if it was social media. What happened?
How am I
Social
supposed to know?
media.
Anyway, like none of this. So we're diagnosing something
Well-
that's not actually in the story.
No,
like there's
but
no
also,
social
like-
media or anything. So what do you think why do you think she was lonely? Because they don't tell you exactly. Is this more common in Korea or just at this time in history?
Korea is like it's a very harsh, like very very harsh society over there. Like it's like they're very strict on what you can and can't do. Like for example, like LGBTQ like marriage, that is not like permitted. Like you cannot do that. That's illegal. Unlike here in America, or for example, like the recent scandal with Blackpink's Rosé, where like someone in America, which is kind of different from Korea, asks like, do you support LGBTQ? And for her to keep it safe, she just had to do she just had like, that's just how she responded, and she kept it safe so that she wouldn't
Get like any backlash.
backlash. But it's like she's still getting backlash, but it's just kind of people don't understand that Korea itself is just very strict, and it's very like, yeah, it's just super strict.
Yeah, if I go back to my brilliant giant brain metaphor, like we're sort of all located at different, like our cultures are a little bit separated by geography. And then with the internet, you just zap your brain right over there, right? And so now we're all relating through the internet, and we sort of have a shared internet culture, right? But where you are geographically might be different. And so that it creates this weird situation where it's like there's kind of two cultures in one place or something, and they're not totally
Totally
compatible, and it gets weird.
I don't know. There's just like, if you like think about like the quote unquote like some scandals that like Korea has had and how like America interprets it, it's like kind of weird, because in some ways like to Korea like this may be okay or this may be really bad, and then in America it'll be like, oh, like this is okay, or like no, like this is super bad.
Yeah. Pop quiz. You ready? Here we go. Okay, this time it's a competition. You're going to identify these pictures, and whoever says it first wins.
Do we get to escape?
No, there's no escape. That's not how life works.
How about like we quiz you? Because you don't seem to know
What
you're
show
doing as
is
a host.
this?
Hotel de Luna.
All right, one for Kailee. Who is this, and what is the name of the dog?
Hank and Rosie.
Are you even trying?
Yes.
What music video is this?
Oh, I've Love Dive.
Boom, one for
I
Dianne.
thought you were about to say no.
All right, name both of these people. Who is this?
Sana Nayan.
Correct.
Yeah, and I'll take that.
Shut up. Shut up. Whose dogs are these and what are their
Getting
names?
So agitated.
Oh, aren't those?
Oh, those are Jenny's names.
Yeah, Jenny.
Kuma and Fuck.
She said Jenny first, but I said Kuma.
Jenny, Kuma.
You asked
Who's
whose
the other
dog
dog?
Okay,
was it?
whatever. We'll
Wait,
do
who's
half
the
a
other
point.
dog?
We'll never know because you didn't.
Kai. No.
Kai.
Yeah.
Who is this and what music video is it?
Oh, Sunmi from You Can't Sit With Us.
Correct. Which ITZY members are missing from this photo?
Yuna and Yurujin.
Correct.
I like how you don't. The answers are
I
on
have
the
to-
back.
Cover the photo, bro.
Cover the photo.
Don't
Dude,
look
you're
at my
so
hat.
fucking
We saw
bad
the
at
cover.
this.
How are we supposed to not see it?
I'm trying to have a creative quiz. Do you want to take a multiple choice or write an essay? What do you want?
You didn't make this quiz.
Yes, I did.
I think someone else made it. I think you should pay that person $20 because they made the quiz.
You're not getting $20.
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. That's not canon.
That's not canon, you guys.
All right. Who's this? Both the human and the cat.
Lisa and
I don't know her cat's
Leo?
names.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
I only know Leo.
I don't
That's
know
all I
any
know.
of the cat
No,
names.
because Lisa has her cats all start with an L name.
Doesn't
Leo.
GC have a fish or a dog?
Rose had the
Has it-
fish that died.
Oh, and then she got Hank.
Yeah.
Final question. Who is this and what is their ship name?
What Rose Che? Fuck. Ro Lisa. Ro Che. Che.
Okay, Lisa.
Nailed it. We'll say that's worth 10 points for Dianne. She did it.
10 points?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like you had it for a minute, but
I said. Okay, wait, hold up. Can you never said that it was 10 points before.
we're making up the rules as we go because this is an unstructured quiz, right?
You're unfair.
I'm just making it up as I go along. I'm trying to make detention fun.
Yay.
All right, well, thanks for watching. There's no one watching this.
I'm glad you're self-aware.
Can I have the Gappers tape?
Put that down.
I gotta rep my girls.
All right, thanks for
I don't
playing.
know if I have any.
Oh, okay. I think we're wrapping it up. Any last words before we go back to reality?
feel like
Detention
I
was
won.
not fun.
I
This
feel
is
like I
the
won.
most fun you've ever had in
Dude,
detention.
can I be the host
That's
next
not
episode?